This is a screencast on how to set up a quick survey using the Bristol Online Surveys system. So what we see here is the homepage of the Bristol Online Surveys website. To be able to set up our own account, we have to, well, have an account and to log in. Okay, now this is my homepage as a user of this system, and as you can see here, I have no surveys so far. So I'm going to create a survey by doing create survey, and this survey that I'm going to use as an example is going to be very simple. It's going to be a survey about what people like, and so I'm going to call it what people like, or maybe a survey about what people like. Now, having chosen the title, you need to specify a template. Now, these templates can be previous surveys that you yourself have set up. If you haven't previous surveys, you can just use one of their few templates that are provided. I'll just choose this one here, a very basic example survey. Others, as you can see, are advanced surveys and so on. The next thing is to provide a name for the URL for your survey, and this must be unique. So, in other words, if you call your survey my survey, and somebody else has called their survey my survey, you'll be told that this is not unique and you have to choose another one. So I'm going to call mine Foobar survey, with the hope that no one has chosen that name already. And finally, to set things up, I must specify a start and end date of the survey. It'll start today and it will end, let's say, in 1 year from now. Okay, and now I've just created the survey. Okay, so to be able to put questions into the survey and so on, you go to edit, and this, as you can see, has got some information already, and that's from that template that was used. So what we're going to do here is we're going to leave the survey have these two pages. Page 1 will be the a page of questions, and page 2, as I'll explain later, will just be the page that says essentially the survey's over. Thank you. Okay, so to add questions to page 1, we go to edit. We'll change the name to questions about what people like, and there in the information about this page you can put whatever you like. I'll leave it blank. Okay, so I'll save that and continue editing. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is delete this note because I don't need that in my survey. And I'll edit the section here. In my survey, I'm going to have two sections. One section on food and drink, and the other section on movies and music. So this section here, the first section, is going to be on food and drink. So food and drink. Here I ask questions about food and drink. Good. Okay. Now I want to create two questions, one on food and one on drink. What I could do is I could edit this question that exists already as an example. It's more informative instead for me to just start afresh. So I'll delete that. And so I now add a question. And here I have the choice of question type. And so the default choice is multiple choice, where you choose one of a number of mutually exclusive options. Multiple answer will allow a person to select more than one, and so on. So I'm just going to choose multiple choice. Okay, now my question will be, what is your favorite food? And I'll say that this question is mandatory, and here in this text box I put the options. Now you just write the options freely into this text box, and each line in the text box will be taken to be an option. So for example, beans on toast, fish and chips, chicken tikka masala, Mexican burrito. Now these four lines will all be, these will be the four options for the for this particular question. I want these questions to be listed down the screen rather than across. And here I'm going to say that I'm going to allow the person, the respondent, to provide an other. So rather than choosing a one of these four options here, they can specify another option. And I can specify whether I'll give them one line or many lines to specify their choice. I'll just give them one line. Okay. And so there you have it. That's what the question is going to look like now. What's your favorite food? Here are the four options, but you can specify another as well. So I'll add in another question, this time on drink. What is your favorite drink? Again, that's mandatory, and again I list the options in the text box. Gin, vodka, rum, port, beer. Down the screen and allow them to specify another choice. Okay, now that's my food and drink section. Now I want to create a new section on movies and music. So specify movies and music. Here I will ask some questions about music, movies and music. So again, add in a question, multiple choice is fine. What movies do you like? Mandatory question, and give them some options: Western, comedy, romance, horror. Down the screen and allow them to specify another in one line. Okay, and so my final question will be on music. Again, multiple choice. What's your favorite music? Mandatory question. Classical music, rap, house, heavy metal. Down screen and other. Okay, that is my survey, essentially. 2 sections on 1 page and 2 questions in each section. Okay, and now I'm just going to go back to the first page, or the home page for the survey itself. Okay, and because it's as simple as this, all I have to do now is just edit the second page to say essentially goodbye and thank you. The end and Thank you. You. Done. Okay, that is the survey created. So if we go back to my surveys listing, we should see it. And there it is. Now, what we want to do is we want to limit access to this survey by others who share accounts, who are also users on this institutional account. So to do that, I go into sharing and I limit access to give no one access to this survey in any way. No one's allowed to edit it, no one's allowed to view the results, and so on. So I just turn these to none. So that's blank already, so that's going to do nothing. Okay, so no one except me can do anything with this survey. Right, and so before we launch it, we'll have a preview. There's my food and drink questions, my music and movies. Everything looks fine. So I go to launch, and here is my checklist. Are you happy with the title? Yes. Are you happy with the URL? Just note the URL is foobar survey. Are you happy with the opening and closing times? Yes. Expected maximum number of recipients or respondents, that will be 50. Now that's something that I didn't deal with, so maybe I will cancel this and go back here. Yes, here I can specify the expected number of responses, and 50 is fine, but if you're expecting 50,000, well, you should write it there. Okay, so back to launch. So I'm happy with the title, happy with the URL, happy with the open close, happy with the number of respondents. I have previewed it, and there is a final page, and that final page has no questions, and it's just basically saying if there are questions there, none of the responses to those questions will be stored. And it just asks me again, and now, and that's it. I'm ready to launch. So I can just go to this survey. I'll open that in a new tab, and here it is. And so I'll just fill it out. My favorite food is beans on toast. My favorite drink is port. My favorite type of movie is Western. And music, well, I'm going to specify opera. And well, because this survey was so short, it was all on one page, so when I continue here, I'm going to go to the end. There you go. I've got to the end page. Now, having got to this point, basically the survey is the results of the survey have been saved, and the respondent can just go to another home page, another page on the web, and doesn't have to do anything more. Nothing has to be saved or submitted or anything like that. Okay, so let's go back to my surveys, and we should see then that there is one respondent. And so let's go into the results, and there they are. And if you want to export the results, you go to export results, and here it'll just by default export all questions. It'll give you some extra options, and I don't want any extra options except when the survey was done. by the particular respondent. Okay, and I'll just export that as CSV, comma separated values. That will open up in any spreadsheet. I'm using here the LibreOffice spreadsheet, but obviously something like Microsoft Excel, etc. will work fine too. And there it is. There is my results. One person took the survey at this particular time, and there are the results. And so that is it. That is how to make a survey, quick survey, using the Bristol Online Surveys system. The end.